Hey everyone, my name is Javi, and this video we're going to talk about something that I don't think a lot of people talk about out there. They always talk about the revenues and making millions of dollars online, but they don't really talk about what are their experience through that moment. And for me, it's not too long ago when my company started doing about 300K months. It was about the first time I hit it. It was about right now about to be 5 months ago, and we've been consistently doing 280 to 310, 320 sometimes. Um, and this is actually yeah, like I said, this is my first time getting to those numbers. The I owned like the first company where I did over 50K was my rental company, and we were doing around 50 to max. We had like along the like Decembers and stuff. We were touching the 70s. Um, but that business was very high risk and very low profit margins, because we bought our vehicles doing like after the Corona thing, and so cars were marked up to a crazy price. And long story short, I had to lost a lot of money there, lost over 500,000. I had to because overdue. I messed with the wrong people. I got into a scam, and it was the worst thing ever. I trusted the wrong people, and I lost a lot of money there, so I had to get out of there. And then I started the funding company, and that's when I hit like 100, 150K, 200K months, 300K months. And it took me maybe like 8 months to start be touching the 300K months in that second company, which is the funding company. And then now, the model, the company where I started this YouTube, where I actually help credit and funding companies scale, that one it took even shorter. It took, I think, like 4 months, maybe four, max 5 months to start touching 300K months. And um, we've been doing that consistently. One of the things that, like, after you figure out, okay, the ads and the funnels and all this technical stuff and the landing page and the VSL, pretty much once you've solved the problem of cost per acquisition, once like that's no longer a problem, you can just like decide when to have more clients or not. It becomes a management issue pretty much. It becomes how good are the people that you have. Um, it pretty much becomes, if depending on this type of people, my company will scale or not. And it is one of the mistakes that I've been making recently. That like I hire a couple people and I fire them pretty much like in the second, third month of being with us. Um, just because I hire based of potential, not of experience, which I learned that now is a huge mistake. I should have never done that. Um, so I also noticed that at this level, once you do get somebody that is worth um, keeping on the team, it's like a management issue. Not an issue, just like a management role. Then like the problem now is management. And um, that book, The Motive, it says, hey, if you're a great CEO, you're the chief, the CRO, pretty much the chief reminding officer, that you're constantly telling the team again and again and again. Like sometimes I feel like I am my team's like therapist, like or mentored in a way that like like I almost gotta explain to them to the whole process. And for me, that like this is the first time me being in this role. Like I never pretty much got to this level. And I just wasn't expecting that was going to be the reason for. I always thought like like the economies of scale, like since I never started generating this much revenue in one company and have the people for it, like I wasn't expecting that like that was going to be my cap. And it makes so much sense. Like I always knew, okay, without the great team you can, we all know this, without a great team you're not going fucking nowhere. Like we always know this. But for me, I think one of the thing is that I got very, very lucky in the beginning. That my wife, she's one of she's like 50% of the company, and she's like the other half of the business, and she's a monster at it. I can completely rely on her and run the up business smoothly. Also, my first setter, which is one of the coaches too, which he plays a lot of roles, where he's also a best friend of mine. Extremely lucky there because they're both able to play multiple roles in a very high output and perform well. So I got very lucky there. And so like when I came my next hiring role, I was less loose and I kind of backfired a bit. So how does it feel to now be doing 300K months for a couple months now? I'm grateful for it. By all means, like I'm having a fucking blast, to be honest. Like I don't want, I'm just making these videos just for you guys to understand what it is. But I'm honestly, you know, I'm very, very grateful for what I'm doing and what I'm able to do. And honestly, I wake up every morning with a smile. I know it's very rare when somebody absolutely loves what they're doing, and I do love what I'm doing, you know. But I would just want not expecting that. Okay, now it becomes a huge just management issue. It's just management, you know, and that is skill I do not have. Well, this is skill I'm acquiring right now because I didn't know I needed a manage skill, you know, which like it makes so much sense. I just don't know why I didn't foresee it. So how does it feel? I'm extremely grateful. I love now that we're solving more complex problems than before, and also for our clients. Like I'm starting to see like since I'm here operating on at this level, I'm working backwards easier to be like, okay, how can I replicate my success into my clients? So that has made it also easier for this program because I could see it's easy to work backwards when you're already there. When you're figuring your like when you're building your way up, it's like man, you're figuring shit out. But like if it's already built, and I'm this constructing it, on the way down, I'm checking out the blueprints. It's a lot easier to give that to somebody and be like, hey, here's the mistakes. So I'm very grateful there, and also the opportunities that he give me. One of the things that very very lucky to have too is like once you do find those team members that you can rely on, you could start traveling. Like we just did a very long trip to Europe and visit a couple places, countries. I'm sorry, and we weren't working for a long time, and I'm very thankful the team was just putting the work, and things were still happening while we were not even completely hands off the business, which I'm very grateful for. Which I know that already happens because I know people in the industry that they take vacations and the whole business breaks, which it's crazy. But and this now I know one friend, I know like 10 of them that I go, Javi, don't start traveling because this X, Y, and Z. So like, well, I did travel just because I rarely do, and I did, and the business didn't break. So one thing is that at this level, you do need to have people who are you can pretty much let go parts of the business, and still function. So that's something I'm very grateful for. Um, but yeah, I guess for me the most difficult things, like if you were asking me, so what's the hardest thing now about going from 300 to 400 to 500, 600, and even $1 million a month or whatever it may be, is like I just, oh, sorry about that. um it's just that like I need to find, I need to put people in position that already are like from a scale of 1 to 10 already operating at level 7, get into an 8 or a 9 and let them loose. And that talent's hard to find. That's why now we're trying to scale, hire like we're trying to get a lot of application in, but now we're sifting through that application a lot more and having way more resistance just to acquire somebody. I mean, just to hire somebody, because for now that like I've never been in a position that I have to fire and hire, fire and hire, fire and hire, fire and hire, so now I know a bad hire is gonna set me back. It could be a month, it could be 2 months, hell, it could be 3 months, depending how much time you left that person on the roll, and how long it went unnoticed. And especially in their opponent role, which they happened to me a couple of times, which one was setting, one was sales, and he set me back. So I'm learning that huge lesson now, that like even though you're this you're making all this money, you still need to be on top of things. Like I don't know, unless you hire like a manager to hire to manage the whole thing, which that's something that I've been thinking about. Like which that's technically my wife, she's technically my main operator. She looked per, is there a way that like we could get like a manager under us and then they manage the whole thing? That could be something worth look into, so you don't have to be on top of everybody. But what I have seen, even though we're a very small team, guys, like it's only 5 of us generating 300K months, which it's not a lot. It's just a lot of like I said, chief reminding officers. It's like it's a lot of reminding of, hey guys, these are our KPIs, this is our mission, this is our core value. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's your job. Here's what you gotta do daily. These are your daily tasks. This is what you gotta do. These are your functions. This are your SOP. This is how you say that. Don't say that. When you they say this. You know, it's and then, like saying the same thing pretty much over and over. And that's pretty much what it is. Which was very. I thought would have been more like, I don't know, more ads, more sales, which, yeah, it is more ads and more sales. But the thing is, if you don't have the right infrastructure for that, it's not going to work out. So that's why I said once you get past the client acquisition problem, once you get past automation problem, once you get past fulfillment problem, it's like, yeah, like I need to, well, maybe that's not fixing fulfillment. That's like part of this. Like you need to fix the fulfillment problem with the sales problem because they're almost correlated. If I turn the ads up to, let's say, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a day in ad spend, if I'm getting right now 500 messages in one day, if I only have two setters, like they're not gonna be able to handle that volume. So that we need to bring like more setters and have set and have schedule or have a system of dialers, or that when people give their info, we could just call them on the phone. It needs to be more economies of scale. You get me? There needs to be more infrastructure, which it's definitely new to me. Again, like I said, this is my first time me running. I don't know what it is that yearly, but we've been constantly doing 300, and I think this month we're heading towards a good 400k months. So I'm aiming to do 500k months very soon. So I don't know how much that is yearly, whatever it may be, but I haven't ran a company at this revenue size, and it's interesting. I would say, like, if this is your goal to get to like 100k months, 200k months, it is very, very fun for me. Like I'm almost honestly in it for the love of the game of the business. I do appreciate talking to my clients and supporting them, and them changing their lives is, fuck, man, it's infinitely rewarding. Like that's one of my favorite things. Like we have clients that quit their 9 to 5. We have clients that have failing business. They started this and now they're making it. Like one of our more successful clients is John. He cash collected 370 grand last month, which is fucking badass. I think he's like a 40-50% profit margins. So he's taking a lot of dough home. Which congratulates him and his family and his partner, because they could actively now like help their family members, which is fucking beautiful, bro. And I'm forever thankful for that. But yeah, man, that's something that is very. It is interesting. You get stuck, like once you go like 0 to 10, 20, 30k months, I would say, you're so focused on like, oh, what offer do I sell? Is this the right business? You have all these things. Then like once you get past that it's not even, it's mainly marketing and sales, and it's like the client acquisition problem, and then you're past to 100k months, 200k months, and you're doing that consistently. Then you're like, okay, it's now, how can I triple this? Like, why am I not doing $1 million a month? And the reason why you're not, it's like, I was watching a podcast from Layla or Alex or Mosey. I forgot which one said it, but they're like, we were doing 400 to 500k months, and what we did, we hire a specialist to hire us a team. And just by doing that, we jumped to like $1 million per month in a couple months, into then $2 million a month. It was the same funnel, same ad, same everything. It just, the team that they had was removed and a new one was implemented with a higher scale, and they just started jumping like crazy, like tripling revenue in a couple months, which is literally like, okay, it's the team and the system. Like if you have better system, better team, you're gonna make more money without touching anything, because you already have a proof of concept. Now it's the actual operator. It's like if I give you a Ferrari, or myself, like I'm driving a Lamborghini, am I better driving a Lamborghini than an actual, someone who knows how to drive these machines? Of course not. He's an expert. So the same things applies. So the better the skill person at this level, it just, and like some of my employees are making 10k, 15k a month, and it's worth it because they bring so much output. And yeah, I was definitely not thinking this was going to be a challenge. I thought it was always going to be just more ads, more sales. But, if you guys ever reach these numbers, this is the things to watch out for. Read again a lot of Patrick Lencioni books. Great on management, team meetings, all of the finding the right people. It's really helping me right now. That's all I've been reading all year, pretty much all of Patrick's things. I'm watching a lot of Layla Hormuzzi's podcast because she's more management and stuff like that, and it's kind of helping that, like, because I really want to grow the company, and now I'm like, hey, I can't, if somebody, like I said, back to the scale from 1 to 10, if I let somebody lower than a 7 in, like, we're such a small company that it just offsets the whole thing. So I need just a bunch of A players right now to perform at a certain level, and I know I'm gonna jump in the 600, 700, even $1 million per month. So yeah, guys, I hope you got a little bit of value of what it feels to kind of be doing these numbers again. Like, extremely blessed. Like, I'm very lucky that I wait to, my all my prior business, except for my recording studio, I had a passion for. I feel like this one's the business I had the most passion for. Like the marketing game, my clients with results, talking to them all day, talking about business, me more growing my business because I know directly will help my clients. So fuck, man, I got so lucky that, like, I get to do something that I love, and I'm working with people. Our clients are fucking badasses. Our clients are so. That's another thing when I think about charging higher prices, which that's one of the reasons why we do. It weeds out anybody that is not worth anything. The usual. Like, I don't. There's like a 95% plus. Like, there are some people that might be on the weaker end, but there's a huge percentage of our clients that are just awesome to work with. They're very smart people. They're trying to solve a problem. They're trying to scale it as much as possible, just not for the sake of income, because we all trying to make more money, of course, but also because they love what they're doing, the passion of the game, the passion of learning, the passion of growing, which is such a cool position to be. Like, I'm helping those people do that, and it's just absolutely amazing. And but back to, like, I don't want to make this call because I didn't have nothing. Look at me, this video too long. I had nothing planned because this kind of had been something that is, I've been thinking about. Hey, like, it's the team. I need a better team. I need this. I need that. So I really want to talk about this because I saw a couple of videos people talk about the raw reality of making X amount of money. You get me? I'm like, damn, that is true. That needs to be talked about more because everybody's only talking about making this, making this. Okay, but what does it come with? And I'll tell you something, guys, like, don't ever get stuck on the revenue. Like, always worry about cash collected. How much are you making cash collected? And how much of that are you profiting? When you talk to your next mentor, your next program, or anybody that you look up to, or anybody you're buying something for, you should be like, hey, so what is your monthly revenue, and how much of that is, like, profit, or how much are you cash collecting, and how much of that is profit? Because revenue is just revenue. Like, people could do split payments, people could do, but I've seen people that put their contract values, which is, hey, look, I made like, let's say the contract value is 50 grand, right? Somebody puts 5K down, but they gave 3 of those a day, right? Or whatever. They're like, hey, I'm making 150 grand a day. It's like, no, that's revenue. That's contract value. You're only making 50 grand, 15 grand a day, which was a huge number. But don't inflate numbers like that. Like, don't lie to the public. That's why I always tell people, when somebody gives us this number, okay, that's your revenue. What's your cash? Like, what's the profit looking like? Like, what are you actually taking home? I've actually one of our clients that just joined. He has his business that he's making like 140 or 120. I don't know what it is, something like that. But I know what he was taking home. He's only profiting about 20K a month, or 25, or max 30, I think it is. And I'm like, yo, and he has like a 15-man team to generate this income. And I'm like, look, I have this another client of mine that he's doing it with 2 people, him and a setter. He's bringing 30K in profit. So, and that's his profit, his revenue. Who gives a fuck? It's about his cash collected and what he actually profited. So, I don't want to go on too long about that, but yeah, guys, that's why I always ask, what's the cash collected, what's the revenue, because people might throw you these numbers down, and don't let them get confused. But that's it for this video. Like I said, I didn't have nothing planned. I don't want to make it too long, but I hope you got some value on it. I'll see you guys on the next one.